So I found out about the road company and told the director, hey, I would love to be in this.
I get to perform and pretend and play and telling stories that have an impact.
We catch these kids at such a formative time in their lives, bringing these ideas to them, teaching them how to behave towards one another in a way that is really going to benefit them for the rest of their lives and benefit the people around them. I think that's a huge deal.
So Taproot Theater is here for their 11th year to teach you how to recognize, refuse, and report bullying.
I've worked at a lot of theater companies, and I have never been at one that is so deeply invested in its mission of being a theater of hope, of creating conversations that ignite the human spirit. And I love that about what we do.
There's something I want you to master that isn't a special power anyone's born with. It's a skill that you and everyone else has to learn. How to make friends.
One of the things that we've noticed over the past 5-6 years is that kids are really struggling with social skills. And as much as they're struggling with their academics, we can't even get to the academics without the social piece.
What model is that? The Exodus 2000. Are you kidding? That was popular last year, but I wouldn't be caught dead in that now.
The idea of bringing in shows that focus on social issues, and specifically right now with bullying prevention, is to be bringing something that is important and relevant to students and to bring a hopeful solution to the schools as well.
Try starting a conversation with a compliment. Wait a minute, what was the conversation again? Oh, yeah.
Taproot's been touring social issue plays since the mid-'80s. It started actually because one of our artists' children was getting bullied in school, and it evolved into something that we do on a pretty consistent basis.
Back in about 2005, we were approached by Taproot saying that they were interested in doing some work around not just bullying prevention, but the other content of our curriculum, the social skill development, and they wanted to know more about it. We would give them feedback on the scripts, suggest different language, maybe a little different outcome based on what we know from the research.
Bullying is unfair and one-sided. It happens when someone repeatedly hurts, frightens, threatens, or leave someone out on purpose.
What we know is that language is really important. And the thing that's great about working with Taproot is they totally get that. For example, with their plays that have to do with bullying prevention, they've really paid attention to our 3 R's, the recognize, report, refuse. And then of course, they've also incorporated bystander behavior.
How we talk about it, how we write our plays, how we interact with the students when we're out there on the road, all of it is informed by the work with Committee for Children.
He's trying to make friends, but he's doing it really poorly.
We're very lucky to be able to have our counselor here who does a phenomenal job, and she's used the Second Step curriculum for years, and this year as well, the anti-bullying curriculum.
Stop it, that's bullying.
All right, what did you guys think?
It's amazing because the kids learn that same language, and then Taproot Theater comes, they're using the same wording, and the kids recognize it right away.
What we want to challenge you all to be is not just a bystander, but a positive bystander. Everybody say positive bystander! Positive bystander!
They love when Taproot Theater comes every year. We might be standing up there talking to the kids and having the kids talk in turn, but to then have it played out for them just cements it into their little heads even better.
A lot of the parents will call and say, my child came home and they told me that they refused or that they were a bystander or they were, so they're starting to use the words.
If I was the person who was being bullied, I would do recognize, refuse, report.
You either tell an adult or you'll say to that person who's bullying someone, stop it, that's not okay.
We have these tools that we can stop the behavior, that we can stand up for ourselves. So that's why it's important to bring these into schools.
So to have someone say, hey, we see this, we get this, and if all of you decide that you're not okay with this, decide that you're gonna include people, that you're gonna exercise empathy, all of that stuff, that you have so much power.
It doesn't matter because I'm going home. They're never going to have to ever see me again.
Then Marvel, let's talk this through.
I was bullied in elementary school, very systematically and deliberately excluded all throughout my 3rd grade year.
The other kids won't play with me. I don't have any friends.
Well,
Back then, exclusion wasn't necessarily considered bullying behavior. I mean, the teachers did try to help me, but it was just kind of like, oh, how sad that girl has no friends.
I like that hat you've got on.
Oh, this old thing!
I remember in 4th grade, there was one girl who was actually like willing to come and have lunch with me. I remember that shift of, okay, somebody actually thinks I'm worth hanging out with. Somebody thinks I'm valuable. Somebody sees my worth.
Hey everyone! I did it! I finally did it! I made a friend!
Superheroes are all about somebody having an individual power that makes them special. I think it's super important and crucial for kids to learn that they have something to bring to somebody else.
I love theater. It provides this immersive experience. You know, you see it when you see the children's faces when they're watching.
There's a sense that when we leave a space, people are uplifted, that there is a sense of hope.
Instead of just standing by, you should never just let somebody bully you. You need to stick up for others, even if you don't know them that well.
People ask me, what's your job? What exactly is it that you do? And I always end up waxing poetic about Committee for Children, about Road Company, about the fact that I get paid to do what I love, but that we're also like a force for social change and for something that I genuinely want to see become less and less and less of a problem. The younger we can get kids thinking about each other and take care of each other, hopefully we're going to raise a generation of really empathetic adults who are going to be good to people and make the world good.